knowledge products that everybody is showing today. Before we get going, again, if you could just introduce yourself in the chat with your names, pronouns, organization, and country. And if you could keep yourself muted, that would be great. Additionally, if you could go to the little globe for interpretation and click whatever language you would like interpretation in, even if English is the language, which is the one I'm speaking now, if you could still click that. So that way, when folks are speaking other languages, you get the interpretation. And I'm actually going to hand it right off to Maria, the ShareNet International Coordinator, so we can get going. And then I will be back to introduce more.
Great. Thank you, Al. Can everyone hear me? Yes, great. Well, welcome everyone. I'm Maria Codina Lopez. I'm the ShareNet International Coordinator, and I took this position together with a colleague of mine, Doreen Thomason, who cannot be here today. But we're very happy to welcome everyone to the second edition of the Knowledge Products Showcase event. I think last year we had our first edition and it was really very successful. So we decided to have a second edition this year. And we're very excited to hear what our members are going to be presenting. Over the next, so between today and tomorrow, we will have 15 knowledge products presented, and all of them have been developed last year in 2023 and have been financed by ShareNet International or the country hubs through different funding sources. So some of them are part of the activation grants that we give at ShareNet International, and others are developed with the SHARIM methodology that focuses on knowledge translation. So over the next 2 days, you will discover a great variety of knowledge products on different topics, and each of these products have found contextualized solutions to local challenges, and they go from like comic books on endometriosis to videos that aim at raising awareness about child marriage, and all this covering different regions in the world. Today we will have 6 presentations, and the rest will take place tomorrow at the same time. So we really hope that you can all participate both days. You might all know, but for those who don't, this year is quite a crucial moment for us at ShareNet because the future of ShareNet International and the hubs is a little bit uncertain. However, we are taking as many moments as we can to celebrate not only the amazing work that all our members have done over the past year, but also to celebrate the 10 years anniversary of ShareNet International. So even if we got our first round of funding in 2012 to create the international platform, it was in 2014 when all the first 3 hubs, well, 4 with Netherlands and ShareNet International, were up and running. And we have been celebrating the 10 years anniversary in several occasions since the beginning of the year, sometimes in person at the country level, where our hubs have been organizing different events on this. And we have also celebrated at our annual members meeting that took place in June this year. And also as part of this celebration, we would like to ask you to please share with us how ShareNet has impacted or improved your work on sexual and reproductive health and rights in each of the different contexts that you're based in. I would like to invite you to please contact me or any of our ShareNet team, because we are very excited to share your story and showing the impact that the platform has had in your work will really help us proving the added value of ShareNet International and the hubs. And finally, to continue our celebration, I would like to finalize, I would like to also take a moment to thank all our members and also all of you that are here today and tomorrow, because without you and the work that you do through ShareNet, the platform would not exist. So I would just like to say thank you to all of you. And now I will not take more space and give back the mic to Al, so that we can start learning more about the knowledge products that are going to be showcased. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Maria. I'm going to take the mic to quickly give it to the people who we want to hear from, the people doing this really good work that we're looking at. So the way this is going to work is we're going to see videos from each organization making a knowledge product, and then we will have time for the questions and answers and discussions after the video. So feel free to ask questions in the chat, and then there will be a moment that we can actually all discuss afterwards. I will do my very best to pronounce everybody's name and organization correctly, but if I don't, please feel free to correct me. First, we're going to be hearing from Wreetu in Bangladesh, from Sharnet Bangladesh, from Sharman Kabir, and we're going to hear about the knowledge product, Be Your Daughter's Superhero. So I'm going to hand that on over.
Do you know that a good relationship between a father and his adolescent daughters make that daughter grow as empowered, as confident, and even make better result in academics? This is found by a study that the fathers who support their adolescent daughters, they grow up as a very positive human being. But in the contrary, in our society, like in the patriarchal society like Bangladesh, fathers and male, they are not encouraged to talk about puberty, period, or menstrual needs. This has brought a great challenges for the girls and women, because they are not encouraged to talk, they are not inspired to seek information about their menstruation, to ask for help if they need in their menstruation, and in the overall they grow up as with the inferiority. So to help the boys, to help the male, and to help the fathers, so that they can understand about the pivotal journey of a girl, we have developed this period guide for dads. The name is Be Your Daughter's Superhero. So there is a sweet story behind this name. So whenever a father has a little daughter, they start growing together. But once the daughter enters into her adolescence, there becomes a gap in their relationship. And this starts becoming more wider and wider with the time. But this can be easily released if the father can understand how to support his adolescent daughters. So with that inspiration, we developed this period guide for dads with the help of ShareNet International. In the book, we have demonstrated some real father and daughters, that how should they talk about in their daughters' mood swing while they are in their puberty, how to support the daughters while they have a romantic relationships, how to maintain the first period with confidence, how to avail period products, and how to take care of themselves while they are in the period. So in Bangladesh, I have got lots of queries from the fathers, would-be fathers, young people, male people, who want to learn about the pubertal journeys, menstruation, but they don't have any contextual resources. So we have developed this book with all these ideas so they can learn about how to prepare themselves for their daughters. This book is not only an inspiration for the dads, but also an inspiration for the thousands of young people, thousands of young male people in Bangladesh. So we have already implemented the books in some of the workshops. More than 100 fathers are using this book in their real life. And they have reported that their relationship with the adolescent's daughter has become more smoother, has become more beautiful, because they now understand how to relate with empathy while their daughters are in mood swing? What are the reasons behind their daughters' reactions of a certain situation, certain things? And more importantly, if the daughters are in their period days, how to support them, pamper them with a small gift, with some chocolates or something, or just taking them for a trip. So this has been improving the relationship between father and daughter. So we are really very grateful to the ShareNet International and ShareNet Bangladesh for supporting us with this, with the fund and with the grant. So we developed these contents. So at Wreetu, we vision to build a period-friendly world for every girl, every woman, and every menstruators. With our vision, in that vision, to achieve that vision, this book is playing a great role. So I'm very happy and thankful to all of you who have listened to us, who have listened to our stories. Thank you so much.
Okay, wonderful. So I am going to ask Charmin also to unmute herself, and I would like to open up the floor for anybody that has any questions about the product, about the process, any questions generally for Charmin. You can feel free to write them in the chat. And Charmin, if you're here, if you could unmute yourself, that would be great.
Hi.
Oh,
Hi.
great.
Good evening from Bangladesh. Very nice to see you all every year. So yeah, let's.
Sorry for that, sir.
I am.
You can see.
I'm sorry, just one moment.
What is the job title of your?
If everybody could unmute themselves and write your questions in the chat, that would be really helpful, please.
Yeah, I'm going to say.
Would you facilitate the question for us?
Yeah, I'm just having some trouble hearing the background sound, so we're going to try to fix that.
Le deuxième livre qui vient là, c'est plaidoyer.
Sorry, just one second.
Monsieur, vous avez votre micro allumé.
Your job title. Matino. Yeah. Saka. Ndanda kusireka inini ndakutumira iri sister in charge advanced orthopedic ndore ndo job yenyu rechitwiro saka ndula chatumira tese chata 33 saka for now iro ngacho.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. We quickly had to fix that. All right. So now, Charmin, sorry, there are actually some questions in the chat for you right now. Thank you for waiting. So I would love to, okay, I think my mic's working. Yeah, okay, great. So first, I think people were wondering where they can get this product. So how
okay. So we have a printed copy in Bangladesh. So from Bangladesh, you can collect printed copies from us. And for the people living outside Bangladesh, we have a video series also based made based on this period guide. So if you are okay, like if you want, we can share that video series online links with you. And unfortunately, right now there is no shareable PDF version of the book, but if the requests are coming from the people like you, maybe we will be considering to make a PDF version too. So right now, you can get the video links made based on this book, and if you are in Bangladesh, you can get the printed version.
Awesome. And I'm actually going to put in the chat a link to our knowledge products library, which all of the knowledge products, including this one, are included in. So you can also look them up there, and there are links to all of the organization's websites as well. One person asks how you can make this process inclusive by including illiterate fathers.
Okay, nice. So throughout the books, we have used pictures and images so that anyone who can't read, they can at least get some ideas what's in the pages. So we try to make this inclusive for the illiterate fathers by using by using images, by using different types of icons, and by using different types of pictorial presentations.
Okay, great. And the last question we'll take right now is, have you field tested the booklet? And if so, what are the findings? Have there been any results? How's the reception been?
Okay, yes, field we had field tested the booklet, and just yesterday we delivered 1,200 books to an NGO. So all the books we develop at Wreetu, we also sell upon requests from the different development organizations. So coming back to your questions, that how we are, if we had field tested the booklet, and if so, what were the findings? So in my video, I was sharing that there were lots of questions and queries coming from the young people, young male and young fathers. So when we took the book in field tested, it was found that they were taking the contents easily, and they were also like trying to get some of the mechanism and tips used in the book in their real lives. So while we developed the book, like in the development processes, we also involved
Hey, I just
7
called because
to
of the
8
issue with
farmers
the.
to get about their like
Okay.
challenges,
Yep.
how they're feeling with their real daughters. So it's not like we assumed something and we developed this book. We consulted with the fathers, we took their worries, we took their tensions, and the questions, and then we incorporated the contents in the book.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And if you're interested in seeing those videos, you can check out the link that I sent. And maybe Sharman, if you want to follow up with a link to the website, that would be great. And we are now going to move on to our next knowledge product, which is by from ShareNet Burundi by ABEM Burundi. I'd like to invite Hervé excuse me, Hervé Rugabanga, excuse me, wow, to talk about your board game that you made.
Hello everyone, my name is Hervé Rugamba, and I'm presenting Urukundo Life Skills board game against teenage pregnancies in Burundi, which is a project that was founded by knowledge activation grants from ShareNet International. So who we are? We are the Medical Student Association of Burundi, which is a student-led organization that focuses mainly on health education, public health, and sexual and reproductive health and rights. We partnered with the Urukundo initiative, which is a Rwandan and youth-led social enterprise committed to revolutionizing life skills, especially sexual and reproductive health and rights, and mental health education. It also produces other board games. So what problem does our knowledge product address? It is mainly insufficient access to evidence-based SOHR information for Burundian young people, which most of the time result in school dropouts, early marriages, clandestine abortion due to teenage pregnancies. So how does it address this problem? Our knowledge product leveraged gamification in the learning process so that the acquisition of knowledge in SOHR can be effective, as it has been proven to be innovative and effective, as it creates a friendly yet educational and friendly environment. Despite the quality of SOHR content in school curriculum, Students have deplored in the in a UNFPA study that these notions are skimmed over, synthesized, or ignored by the teacher, who find them most of the time uncomfortable to address. So our knowledge product is called Urukundo Life Skills board game. It is a board game and cards. It's a board and cards based game which merges fun and research education. When played by young people or at school or youth groups, it creates a safe space and helps them to assimilate unforgettable evidence-based SRHR information in a very friendly fashion. What's in the package? Urukundo Adolescent. In the package, you can find Urukundo Adolescent and Youth Sexual and Reproductive Health and Rights booklet, which contains stories and facts on sexual and reproductive health that help support the use of the 40 question cards and 4 answers cards with the board, 2 dice, and 4 diamond beads that are used as trophies. It also contains a game guideline and facilitator guide. The knowledge product is already being used. For now, we have already used it during the Africa Scout Pre-Jamboree, which is a scout event that took place in Africa. And that one was organized in Burundi, and we were able to host it with the Scouts Association of Burundi. We were also able to present our knowledge product during the activity fair of the country office of the United Nations Population Fund, and we also participated in Kigali during the activity fair for the African Regional Meeting 2023 for the International Federation of Medical Students Association, where this knowledge product had been awarded the second prize. So here are some pictures. The pictures are from the activity fair, and this was a validation during the validation process with teachers and with the scouts. So these are our dissemination strategies. We partner with school and youth-led organization so that you can collaborate to integrate this game into their programs and conduct training sessions to empower educators and facilitators. Collaboration with SOH organizations that target the youth. For example, we have already an MOU signed with Burundi to implement club to Akarara, which means let be models in university campuses in the 3 provinces of Burundi, Bujumbura, Cibitoke, and Kirundo. This project is carried by Care Burundi and is funded by the Embassy of the Kingdom of Netherlands in Burundi. So thank you all very much for your attention, and I'm here for any question.
Okay, great. And with that, I would actually like to invite Hervé himself to unmute so we can go through some of these questions.
Hello, everyone. I'm here for any question.
Hi, great. Thank you so much for being here. Really, really cool product. So the first question, I think we're going to get this with all of them, is where can people access this? Where can they get it if they want to use this in their own context?
Okay, thank you very much for your interest. So how we can get access to the product? For now, we have just a version which is in Kirundi. So it can be a little bit difficult for anyone else that is not comfortable with the national language of Burundi, which is Kirundi. But as follow-up, we plan to improve it and use other languages. Yes, but you can still contact us and see how we can connect you with the partners in Rwanda with whom we have partnered on this knowledge product. They can have the product in other languages.
Okay, great. And in terms of the game, is there an age limit to the Carter board game? What age groups can use it?
So by experience, we thought that people that were older than 20 would have all the knowledge and not feel interested in playing. But as you have seen on the pictures, even teachers had the interest and were very much motivated in playing and gaining trophies. And so I think it's always for the families, can be played everywhere. But I think the limitation may be in understanding the facts. I think, but after 13 years old and growing up, it's fine to play it with the whole family or in family settings.
Okay, wonderful. And we have two questions here that are a bit similar, so I'm going to mix them together because they're both talking about acceptance and reception of the game. So one of them focuses on digitalization and if the game has been accepted by young people in an age of digitalization. And then also somebody who's wondering about the reception of young people, if they wanted to play it again, if they wanted to play with their peers, if schools have taken up the game. So can you talk a bit about the reception from the young people playing?
So for now, there is a little bit challenge because sexual education is kind of still taboo in some places, and our game or the content of the game tried to articulate many issues regarding consent, gender-based violence, and gender. And most of the time, there is still an issue regarding the cultural way or religious way of thinking about that. So that's still a challenge to leave the game to schools, but we are invited most of the time to play with the student, the young people are always very much interested to play it, but the challenge is leaving it there. So we have been recommended to always be there for facilitation and so that there won't be any trouble.
Okay, wonderful. And if people wanted to find out more information about the game and the work of your organization, do you think you could let them know where they could get that, or if there's a website or something like that? Because it sounds like a lot of people want to follow up on the progress.
Yes, of course. Let me write down the emails.
Perfect. So any of you that have any more questions, he's going to put his email there. And we are going to move on because we are on time, which is great. But any questions, Hervé will put his email in the chat. And thank you so much for taking the time to talk about your product. We really appreciate it. And then next, we are going to move right along. And I would like to, oh, not invite yet, excuse me. So we are going to now be moving to ShareNet Colombia, and we are going to be hearing from Luisa Fernanda Rizascos, who is a part of the Huaitoto Foundation. And we are going to hear about the project that they have done and the knowledge product they've created, focusing on Afro-youth sexuality and empowerment from a territorial approach.
Hi, my name is Luisa Riascos Gamboa, founder and director of Huaitoto Foundation, a dedicated organization working to strengthen community bonds in the Pacific region of Colombia. Our mission is to enhance collective well-being through comprehensive sexuality education, sustainable community tourism, and gender-based violence prevention. We manage educational spaces with a territorial, environmental, intersectional, and human rights approaches. This year, with the support of ShareNet Colombia, we developed our vocal called Huellas de Malunlanje, which present a methodology to teach sexual education through traditional games inspired by elements that are part of the Afro-descendant identities of the Colombian Pacific region, incorporating regional identity elements to promote learning through dynamism. Through this resource, we aim to demystify misconceptions, break taboos, and build relationships founded on respect and communication, promoting sexual education that understands the cultural diversity of the Pacific region. Around 20 children and adolescents aged 11 and older, as well as 12 women, including mothers, caregivers, and community leaders, had participated in our project. Our goal is to expand to rural areas in the Pacific Coast where sexual education is a taboo. We believe that education is the tool for social mobility. Join us to our mission to foster empowerment, education, and community development.
And now we're going to go into a Q&A and discussion. So if Luisa, if you could unmute yourself, that would be wonderful. Luisa, are you here?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, great. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't quite hear you. Okay, great. So while we wait for some questions to come in, and if people could please ask any questions they have, that would be wonderful. I want to hear a bit about what inspired this booklet. Obviously wanting to give good SRHR education, but it seems like a different approach to that using those cultural touchstones. So can you speak a bit about kind of the inspiration and the process of this?
First, I want to thank all of you and all the attendants for the opportunity to be here and to share our knowledge product. For us, it's very important to show the product, but also to learn from other people from around the world that is, that aim to teach educational and sexual health. That is very important, especially in rural areas and for ethnic communities. So for your question, it was first my experience. I'm from Huanchaco, the place that we work at, which is a rural area in the Pacific coast where education is difficult to access, and especially education in sexual and reproductive health. So when I start getting interested about this topic, and also is because here in my community in the Pacific coast, children are very vulnerable to sexual exploitation, child pregnancies. So that was my first motivation. But when I started teaching this subject, I found quickly that was very difficult, and it was due for the taboos that we have here in my community. They're very strong. So I found that through games, to get into the cultural, heritage that we have was easier to contact, to get in contact and get near to young people, but also with mothers, leaders, teachers. So that's why in all the team in Waitoto, we are young people from rural areas. So it was our experience in this book. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. That adds some really nice context to the product. There are a bunch of questions, so I'm just going to start going through them and let you do most of the talking here. So the first question is asking if this is possible, if it's possible to adapt this book to other contexts, and also what kind of challenges you faced creating and distributing and working with this knowledge product.
Yeah, the idea with this methodology is that you can use it with other contexts. In fact, the buckle also has like a plain board where you can use it for different games. So, and it has like a dynamic cards that you can also use in for different cultural games that you have in your community. So it's very adaptable. Also, the challenges, the first challenge was to make the book, to adapt all the information that is have been written, because we found that it's very, when you talk about sexual and reproductive health, we found that it has a very Western point of view. So to adapt that information to our context, it was very difficult, but we managed it. In fact, we take more time than we expected designing the product, but we did it. And also was with the teachers in the school. In fact, we have more like the mothers right now are more into the process, and the teachers are more hesitant to the product because they believe that sexual and reproductive health should not be teaching for young children, because we manage children between 11 and above, and they believe that they should not be attending this kind of workshops, but the mothers and in the community want those children to attend and to get the information. So that's the challenge that we are facing, in fact, right now. But the directors from the school are aligned with us, and for them has been difficult to get to the teachers to understand that sexual and reproductive health should be part of the school's plan. Yeah.
Okay, great. It sounds like there's some challenges, but it's really nice that that you're aligned on doing that. And it sounds like you're making some really good progress on it. And then in terms of actually giving this to young people and doing it, we have a lot of questions here about well, a lot of questions in general, which is lovely, but about the positive changes brought with this project. So if there are some examples of some ways that this has changed student behavior, if there's a way that you measure their education, kind of what some of the output of working with these young people has been with this knowledge product.
Yeah, well, in fact, we have now more children than we used to have when we started the project. So that's a great outcome of the project. Now parents are more in the process, which was one of our objectives and goals. You can see now children speaking more fluent about sexual and reproductive health without being afraid. We made some methodologies to measure how the knowledge that they get and how they manage the knowledge. And also we continue with other projects that we have where we trying to how can I say that, like, when we manage how they behave, they have getting better, and they are interesting in the product. So that's how we know that is getting the impact. And also some organizations.
Sorry, just
also some, don't worry. Also, some organizations from the community are asking to get the product and to be trained from the product, because that's one of right now the phase that we are doing right now is to starting training other organizations in the community, other leaders. So yeah.
And how are you conducting that training and kind of working with those parents and the local leaders?
Well, with the parents, we have like a WhatsApp group where we manage all the things that we do here in the community. We have like personal contact with the parents, so we get meetings with the parents, and they have, if they are worrying about something that they want to know. For example, this week I have a meeting with a parent that is worrying because her daughter, wants to know more. So she wants to get the knowledge. So that's how we also contact with parents and with other organizations. We right now we make the agenda for the workshops. We are doing workshops with them to do the training.
Okay, awesome. And then I think some people are really interested in the product itself. So if you could explain further how the manual is delivered, is it self-study? Are there modules? Who's it facilitated by and how? And maybe some examples of some of the activities young people are doing.
Yeah, the booklet has like an index where you can find information about gender, sexual rights, healthy relationships, myths and taboos about sexual and reproductive rights, and about other subjects. And each subject has like a game where you can do. For example, for roles between female and male, we have a game where we ask children what are the roles here in the community that men play and women play. So they, for example, say, oh, here in the community, men fish and women cook. And then we start deconstructing, we made like a deconstruction of those roles. So we say, for example, So if a woman fish is a man, so then the children start, questioning themselves about the roles here in the community. Why a women can go and fishing? Why men can cook? So that's how we also, like confront the taboos here in the community. Other game is a board play with cards, and the board is designed with the territory. So it's like a path they can go from the territory, and they found questions, they found information, they found some false and true questions, and that's how in a dynamic, they learn about sexual and reproductive health. And all the books have some examples in the territory where people can relate and understand more the concept.
Okay, great. That sounds really interesting because it also sounds like it's really adaptable for different contexts, like you said. So even though it's been designed in your context, the methodology can really reach, globally, and people can kind of make it work for them, which is really cool. And means it has so much application, which is great. And then only a few more questions, but one person is asking how you plan to measure the educational changes, because it sounds like it's just being rolled out now, in order to show how young people are actually changing behavior, attitudes, and how this is helping their SRHR knowledge. Do you have plans on how to measure that, and also potentially use it as lessons learned to improve in the future?
Yeah, in fact, that's why the vocal is not available yet, like for the public, because right now we are just in the implementing. We already implement the project with youth and in women, but right now we are trying to, to share the knowledge product with leaders, other organizations, and with that, we are trying to, to know if we have to make some changes, if there is something that we have to fix. For measure in all our projects, we make like a survey, but it's not like a conventional survey that we do with children, where we ask them between 0 to 10 how they know about some concept. So in the end of the year, we are going to do that survey again. So that's how we, can measure how they have learned. And also we do reports in each intervention that we do. We do reports about the behavior, participation. We have some like indicators that we manage each intervention in all our projects. So that's how we know what changed, what is, what we have to tackle, like work hard in something. So yeah.
Fantastic. And I think our last question here is kind of a next step, but I think it's really interesting. But is it possible to develop a knowledge hub on youth SRHR findings and or cultural issues of various countries in the world? Because then anybody can gather that knowledge and prepare themselves to do that work in the future in those contexts. And maybe that's a bigger question, not only just to you doing that work, but do you think a resource like that would kind of work or be helpful in the context of your knowledge product?
Yeah, in fact, we believe in, we told the children all the time that we do the projects with them. Like we are all the time trying to understand what they want, what they are facing. So right now in Huaitoto, we are gonna start to write our results in all our projects. So that's a way we think we can contribute to this problem that I know is globally. Also, I think we have to understand that children and youth also have the ability to share knowledge, and they know what they want. They just need the space for participation. So that's how Waitoto we manage our project. Each project that we do is asked for them. So we each in the end of each year we ask them, what do you want? What do you think we can, get better? And that's how we construct everything. And I think it's time for all the organizations and institutions to start taking their opinion on reports. I think that will be, we will get better results if we do that.
Okay, great. I think that's a wonderful note to end that on. Thank you so much, Luisa, for such a good conversation about this and getting us all thinking. In the last 2 minutes, before we move on to a little in the chat activity, does anybody have any more questions for presenters that they have not gotten to say, or any questions or last thoughts in the last 2 minutes of this session? There are a lot of things in the chat, so it's very possible I missed stuff. So please feel free to put those in the chat in the last 2 minutes of this session. We have plenty more coming. And if not, we are pretty much exactly on schedule, 1 minute early, actually. So if that's the case, I guess we are just going to move on to our next little activity to kind of put what we just learned about a bit into practice and contextualize it for ourselves. So having listened to our first 3 grantees, we want to collect all of your ideas on how these knowledge products can be used, generally or in your own context. So we have 5 minutes. So if you could please put those ideas in the chat, and then I will read out some examples. Yeah, that would be great. So for this, you can write down anything that helps us take this product from product into practice. So it can be feedback, it can be thoughts about using it in your own context, it can be thoughts about different places these products can be used, how they could be used, basically anything about this product that you think could make it work in a specific kind of way, work in a different way. And in 4 minutes, I will read some of them out loud. Just one more minute to get those ideas out, and you can also keep them coming while I'm reading them out loud. Okay, so I am going to go over some of these ideas of how we can put these products into practice. The first one, and I'm seeing this a lot, is to share them widely using different platforms. And I think that's also one of the reasons why, ShareNet is so cool as a network, is we have all of these opportunities to be connecting with each other. And I really encourage everybody to keep doing that. I also see one about centralizing all of the knowledge products in a library or a database, which we actually have done last year, or I guess, no, January of this year. We launched our ShareNet International Knowledge Product Library, which I just put in the chat. And there you can actually see all of the knowledge products that ShareNet has funded. And if there's something that you are seeing here that's not there yet, it's because they'll be uploaded every year. So that is a place where you can actually look through all of them, and you can even sort them by knowledge product type, language, and any other things that you might want to filter it by. So that's a really great resource to have those centralized, and I have just put that in the chat. So please feel free to check that out. We also have one here talking about implementing certain ideas by adapting them to our different context. And again, that's why I think things like this are so great, is we can see all the work that people are doing all over the world and see how it would work for our own contexts. We also have some ideas on ordering these products and using them in comprehensive sexuality education sessions. And then I've seen a lot about needing to produce things simultaneously in several languages, including French. And I think that that is very true. And I think that any inspiration that people take from this, they can go and translate and work on in their own context. And I'm also seeing a lot about collecting feedback and working on these products consistently. And I think that's absolutely something that people are going to be doing in these contexts, and then moving forward is constantly improving these products once we roll them out, right? Please feel free to keep reading in the chat. I want to make sure we all get a break, because I know being on Zoom is a lot for everybody. So now we are going to move towards our break. During the break, we are going to have a snapshot of day 2. So we're going to take 10 minutes for coffee, tea, stretching our legs. And in the meantime, you can enjoy some snapshots or sneak previews of our day tomorrow. And I will see you all back here in 10 minutes. Oh, excuse me, I was just informed 15 minutes. We have 15 minutes then. Be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Dalal Abu-Rob, member of ShareNet Jordan. Our pressing issue that is impacting maternal health care in Jordan, the increase of elective cesarean section without medical justification. We propose 4 key policy alternatives. We urge policymakers, healthcare professionals, community leaders, and advocacy groups to come together and collaborate in implementing these policies. Thank you.
chemsex is a social-cultural phenomenon and a global health concern, because some results show a strong association with the HIV transmission, with STIs transmission. Our chemsex users mostly use methadone, which is the main substance, and GHB. So first of all, we wanted to understand experiences of GBMSM in 3 targeted countries who practice chemsex. We conducted a workshop where we trained them how the basics of quality of research, and overall we collected 28 interviews with chemsex users.